Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming today. And first of all, I want you to congratulate yourself for being on time. It was the spring ahead thing I always mess up. So, thank you. Now, welcome to our Shotsukihoyo service. Today's service is dedicated to family members and friends whose anniversary of their passing is in the month of March. Today's service will be officiated by our supervising minister, Reverend Dennis Fujimoto. We would like to start the service with a quiet meditation. Sensei will strike the bell to begin and end the meditation.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Please stand for our opening gatha. It will be found in the brown book, page 167, with grateful hearts. You may recognize the melody. This gatha used to be known as I Loved the Story. So page 167 in the brown book, and remain standing for the threefold refuge. Threefold Refuge on page 10 of the purple book. Difficult is it to receive a human form, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth.
I take refuge in the Dharma, and we together with all sentient beings awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the just intent of the Buddha.
I take refuge in Dharma,
and we together with all sentient beings enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in Sangha, and we together with all sentient beings becoming secure
in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. We are now privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Buddhas.
Namo Buddhas.
Namo Buddhas.
Namo Buddhas.
Namo Buddhas.
Namo Buddhas.
The names of the Shotsukihoyo honorees for this month will now be read. Those family members and friends observing this service, please come forward to Ashoko during the reading of the names. Haru Fujihara, Seitaro Hamamoto, Seiyumon Hamamoto, Toshiro Itano, De Kamioka, Tomoichi Kawaoka, Yoshitada Matsuoka, Tokuyemon Matsuda, Yasuke Maeda, Ayako Morita, Frank K. Uda, Ted Sakato, Chioji Shimizu, Hisaki Sugimoto, Yoshito Sugioka, Fred Tanaka, Saikichi Yoshimura, George Shimizu, George Kata Yokoyama, Hatsue Otani, Lloyd Yamasaki, Betty Meehan, Nanayo Yokoyama, Kiyoshi Akutagawa, Lee King Lao, Shizuo Sujihara, Saguro Sueoka, Toyotaro Suyoka, Thomas E. Gable, George Shizuru, Mark Hiroshi Purusho, Yasuko Ueda, Jun Hasagawa, Mary Hamamoto, Mitsu Sujihara, Toshio Ueda, Martina Anderson, Hiromi Wakayama, Jimmy Yamakawa, David Sugimoto, Haruko Sujioka, and Kyoko Takayama. Sensei will now offer Sambujo, page 24 of the Purple Book. This will be followed by Hyopyakumo dedication and sutra chanting. Today's sutra chanting will be the first half of Amida Kyo on page 103. So pages 24 and pages 103 of the Purple Book.
Hoyo.
Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of March, members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namo Butsu, Namo Ho, Namo So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Ananda, Nagora, 中世祭法家中万国仏道無世界妙末極楽合道仏道阿弥陀根源在説法者利法二度学教妙意極楽極国修上無修三十小楽五名極楽無者利法極楽極道七十乱十七十羅法七十五十改正四法修相二行税公非国妙末極楽無者利法極楽極道無死亡地悪六水十万五中地大順に本社富士地変街道本言ルリありご上上無各役員本言ルリあり社交釈州名の二言直地十年下大名者に標識証拠公式方向釈式釈光逆式逆光微妙高血者利法極楽極道上十尿税空毒小無者利法異部国道調査天学黄金日昼夜六時二分万ならげ五国修上調理昇誕学位英国長修行系空用家宝十万六仏即位直地検討本国本直教業者利法極楽極道上十尿税空毒将軍仏師者利法非国上無修十奇妙雑式市長百国着法無者利下領民が無名師匠税商修長長夜六時水和下音高音年長合根合力七宝大文八正道文納税東方合同修上門税恩に大質念仏念法念僧者利法尿物費失調実税財法少々勝利者が一部国道無三幕衆者利法五部国道小部三幕道四行が教実税小修長改税阿弥陀仏力量本全流演芸少佐者利法異部国道二夫水道小法五十秒法羅網水未妙音未妙逆戦十学同時草門税恩者開示年上念仏年法年相死心者利法国道上十尿税六六小
Amida
Namanda, 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 Namanda,
At this time, Reverend Fujimoto will present his Dharma message.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, it's always nice to be back here, and I always like to include that it's always special to come the first Sunday for our. This time is different. This is the second Sunday because we had a special service last Sunday, but the beginning of the month we have our monthly memorial, the Shotsuki service, and families that have someone that they have lost during that particular month. March in this case, the names of the people they have lost are read, and often they invite other members or members of their family to come to this particular service. Maybe they'll go out to eat afterwards, but it's a nice way to remember those we have lost and to include the new ones to come to this tradition and for them to remember how it goes, right? The people who we have lost in their family, in our families, and as we remember them, without them, we don't have the lives that we have today. So it's always special to be able to acknowledge them and to recognize that for ourselves. So today I thought I'd talk about Buddhist education. We've been talking about learning Buddhism, whether we want to learn about Buddhism or whether we want to learn how to live as Buddhists. And maybe it's a little bit different approach to each of these things. And as I was thinking about that, we've had discussions, we've had national meetings, and each temple has a Buddhist education committee. This is the kind of dialogue that we have as we prepare for classes and things like this. And as I thought about that, there's a dream I had recently, and I wanted to share this dream with you. Okay, I keep a dream diary. So when there's something, sometimes you forget, right? And you just get on with the day, but sometimes there's a nice dream, and I try to remember and jot down memories so I can come back to it and think about that. So there's one dream in particular that I had, and in thinking about teaching the Dharma, in this instance, I was invited to a Buddhist conference, and there would be high school, college-age kids staying at a hotel, right? And so guest speakers are invited to talk about Buddhism, to meet the young ones, and in my dream, it's a big hotel, and I'm in the parking lot, okay? And so there's chaperones in one door. They're like on the second floor, and I'm looking up from the parking lot. There's one balcony with chaperones, parents coming out, and in the next room there's a balcony, and the young women are coming out. So, third balcony, young men were coming out, right? High school, college age, and I thought, this is so odd. Why would they set up a conference like this? I'm standing in a parking lot trying to speak to people like this, right? And I could see in the room, right, that the young men, the TV's on, they have a basketball game going on the TV, their feet are up on the table, maybe eating some snacks or reading their phone, right? I thought, oh boy, why would they think of setting it up like this? So I was a little bit frustrated, kind of upset, why get invited to such a thing, right? So I wasn't sure how to approach it. So, well, maybe just make the best of it and try to engage them. Maybe it will go okay, right? But the sense of it, I'm looking up like, it's like Romeo and Juliet, right? Heart doth yonder window break, right? And it just felt so odd. I'm standing in this parking lot, right? So the double doors are open, they announce that the session's starting, so they start to drift out towards the balcony. So okay, maybe I can make the best of it, maybe I can engage with them and they'll respond. Hopefully they'll respond. So I asked a couple of questions and one person responded, someone else said something. So good, this might work. So I'm getting a little bit more encouraged and there's a little bit of voices from the boys' balcony, the young ladies' balcony, and so on. Okay, maybe this might work after all. And just when it first gets started, this flatbed truck pulls up right next to me in the parking lot, right? And it blasts this horn, and on the flatbed truck, it's all this piled up potato chip bags, right? Lay's potato chips, all stacked up on the back of this truck. Okay? And so the kids notice it right away. Hey, look, potato chips. And so they all go back into the room and they want to get ready. Maybe the next session is going to start after a little while. Let's go down there. So they all come down and they come to the truck. They each take 2 or 3 bags of potato chips and they're walking on to the next session. And my time's up, right? So, what's this about, right? So I'm kind of frustrated and I'm walking along, following them, and they're going on to the next session. And I thought, this is just so strange, disappointed, frustrated. Is that it? Is that all I'm supposed to do here? And so as we're walking along, one of the parents is walking next to me and just engaging in small talk, and gradually he starts to tell me that the potato chip delivery, that was the parents of this little girl, their daughter has disabilities, handicap, but all the kids at the conference were always kind to her, very friendly to her. They walked with her, talked to her, and they were always very nice. So just out of appreciation, they wanted to bring all these snacks that everyone could share in these potato chips. And so everyone called this little girl Potato Chip, right? This was her nickname, okay? So, okay, this is her potato chip. So her parents wanted to do something special for all the kids, just to acknowledge how they treated their daughter, how special that they have been to their daughter's life, and how much it meant to them. So this is why they asked this truck driver, bring his truck, we'll load it up with these potato chips, right? And so I walked along, still in the dream, and I thought, wow, what a touching story, right? Touching. And then I woke up, and I'm still thinking, wow, that's a touching story. And so for the rest of the day, I'm kind of thinking back to that dream. So, wow, what a strange dream, but it touches your heart, to think of it like that, okay? And so thinking that this is Buddhism, living Buddhism, sharing and appreciating and doing something like this for each other. I'm getting frustrated because I thought I'm the sensei, I'm the teacher. Well, how come he put me in this kind of position, right? And so I couldn't share my learnings the way I wanted to, but the Dharma is happening all around us in that sense, right? So I thought, this is my ego-centeredness. My class is ruined, right? But there's something else going on than that, right? So what a dream that I thought of. So second story, I like to read articles from Dr. Haneda. He's a teacher, professor in Berkeley, and he has a story that I really enjoy. He's saying that we are all like smoked salmon. Okay, smoked salmon. So he says to make smoked salmon, first you catch all these salmon and you put it into a smoke box. Okay, and they have to be kept in the box for several days. And during that time, the salmon are exposed to this smoke. And after several days, we take the salmon out of the box and they have become smoked salmon. Perfectly smoked salmon. Okay? And so in the Buddhist sense, we are the salmon, right? And so placed in this box, the smoke box symbolizes the Pure Land, where we learn about the teachings of Pure Land Buddhism, okay? And so going into the smoke box symbolizes becoming part of this Pure Land Sangha, coming to the temple, listening to the teachings. Okay? So we sit here in the smoke box, chanting together, offering incense together, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida. And we go through this ritual and practice. And as Nembutsu Buddhists, we do this. And maybe we're unfamiliar, we try it. What does this mean? How does this work? Maybe we want to read some books about Pure Land Buddhism, the Nembutsu teachings, Shindan Shonin, all these things that kind of gives us a little bit of insight when we're going through this ritual every time we come. And so Haneda Sensei said, this is our smoke box. So we come in here and we do all these rituals. So as we do this, we come regularly, and we become perfectly smoked salmon. Okay? So we are becoming Buddhas. We're becoming Buddhas. Okay? So if the salmon are put in there, certain length of time, without fail, they become smoked salmon. Okay? It's not because this salmon was the king of all salmons, or this one has special qualities, this salmon learned a little bit more. No, they all become perfectly smoked salmon because of this environment that they enter. Okay? So it's not your abilities, it's not your qualities, but you come in here imbued by the Nembutsu, imbued by the smoke of the incense, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, and you come to learn. It's not me, it's not about me, but it's about this environment that we enter into, sharing with each other. We become Buddhists, we become Buddhas, we become perfect smoked salmon. Okay? So, third story. There's a teacher named Jeff Wilson, and he wrote a book. And when Jeff first learned about Buddhism, he thought Buddhism was really, really interesting, and he wanted to learn more about it. He wanted to study Zen Buddhism at first, so practicing meditation, going to a Zen Buddhist center and practicing with them and sitting in meditation and reading what he could and going through all these things. And so he said he used to think that awakening, right, becoming enlightened, was achieved through controlling the mind. To sit quietly first for 5 minutes, it's hard. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. So he's trying to do all these things. But he had a hard time, a little bit frustrating. Somehow he learned about this other teaching of Buddhism, Nembutsu Buddhism, that we do here, Shin Buddhism. Okay, so Shin Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, they kind of came up together at similar times in China and Japan. And so many of us heard about Zen Buddhism before we heard about Shin Buddhism, unless you grew up here close to this temple. Right? So, what did he say? Let me find it, okay? So he said when he was first studying Buddhism, he thought separating what he learned about Buddhism and him living his life. So there's Buddhist stuff, like meditating, studying the Dharma, talking to teachers, and all this was really good and useful. But he also had non-Buddhist stuff in his life. He's talking about hanging out with his friends, visiting family, eating ice cream, maybe having a beer with his buddies, and things like this, sitting on the couch doing nothing. And so these are like polar opposites. Buddhist stuff that's beneficial and the non-Buddhist stuff that we all do, but this is getting in the way of being a good Buddhist. So he thought he try very hard to become a perfect Buddhist, but he's ignoring all this part of his life, right? He's going to try to focus on meditation, study, and reading. So he had a problem with that, right? So he said, eventually, I discovered I wasn't up to snuff. Okay? There's just no way I was going to be able to cut myself off from the world, the rest of the world, because I'm hopelessly entangled in all of this. And part of me doesn't want to leave that life, right? We have all these things. We have a car to take care of. We have family. Maybe we're worried about our children. We're worried about our parents. We have all these concerns. So we're tied to this world. We can't just leave and sit on a meditation pillow and think we're fine. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. So he says, I finally realized that awakening that can't cope with the real world is probably half-baked at best. After all, how could a true awakening not include 99% of my life? So he has reservations, thinking about his approach to Buddhism all over again and wondering about this. So he thought all these things are holding him back from being able to advance and achieve as a Buddhist. Then he came to see that all these ties that we are involved in, these relationships are the greatest learning opportunities, right? So everyday life, we come here, we say everyday life is our practice, right? We say Namo, Amida, Butsu, and those are not magic words or special words, but we are connected to this infinite reality that we're all connected together, and through that we ground our own lives. We're able to say, hi, how are you doing today? And we connect with each other. Whoever's sitting here, whoever has coffee with us in the next room, have a cookie. Would you like a cookie? And we're sharing time, we're sharing energy, and we're reading each other and caring about each other. This is everyday life. This is everyday Buddhism. So he's saying that these things, he came to recognize that this part, you don't separate these two. They have to be merged. Right? And I think here in our Nembutsu practice, we do that. And we tell everybody. We have young ones here, we have elders here, all kinds. No one's sitting in the next room on a pillow. They come in here, and we're all mixed up together in all of this. Okay? So this is our my wonderings about Buddhist practice, Buddhist education. Do we just want to talk about this topic and that topic, or do we want to engage with each other and share what my life is about? How are you doing today? Oh, we laugh about each other to each other. Oh, I got this ache and pain and those aches and pains, and we have this appointment and that appointment. And as we get older, more of the story leans that way, doesn't it? We have so many things that we have to care for, but this is the midst of this Nembutsu teaching and Nembutsu practice that we engage in all of this. And when we have this moment, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, and as we connect to the infinite, we see that we are still able to be appreciative, to live this life of gratitude. As we live this life of gratitude, I'm able to share with everybody, anybody. Okay? So, thank you. This is my talk for today. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu. Please persevere. Soon you'll be perfectly sound.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message, and thank you for sharing your dream. It was a very nice dream. Please stand for our closing gatha. Once again, it's going to be found in the Brown Book, page 116. Hotoke Sama, page 116. Please be seated. Do we have any announcements?
Good afternoon. So, as many of you know, our biggest fundraiser for the year is our bazaar, which usually happens in July. And we don't have a chairperson for that event yet. And as Nancy Davlin has noted, normally by this time we've had some things already taking place and we're a little bit behind schedule. So we're still looking for someone who would like to be a chairman for the bazaar. The only requirement is you have to have a fairly thick skin because you're going to have a whole bunch of stuff thrown at you. So if you're interested, otherwise we might not even have a bazaar this year. So if you're interested, please let me know or Diane Ono. Secondly, and this is an announcement you'll hear probably several times between now and August. In August, we have our Bishop's Memorial Service, and at that time we are actually going to have Bishop Harada come, and he will be performing a Kiyashiki ceremony for those who would like to have a Buddhist name. So a Buddhist name, as you know, is oftentimes presented to someone after they pass away, but you can actually have one while you're still living. But the bishop is the only person that can do that. Once you die, all the ministers are able to give you a Buddhist name, but you really don't get to enjoy it very much. So if you are interested, and we have more information about this that will be coming, if you are interested, we will be doing this in August, so please see either Reverend Fujimoto or me. And the last announcement I have is, you may have recalled when Reverend Akahoshi was here, after the service, he had this little informal discussion in the hall, and quite a few people enjoyed it. Not everybody was able to participate in it, but we're going to try to do that from now on. So we are going to start today. You may notice when you enter the hall, there'll be some tables next to the stage, and that's where Reverend Fujimoto is going to be. If you want to continue on with any kind of informal discussion, or if you have some questions, or if you want to talk about that Buddhist name, what that means, all of that can take place today, and with hopefully every single minister that comes. Next week is Reverend Harry Bridge from the Buddhist Church of Oakland, and we will see if he can do the same. So thank you very much.
I would just like to remind everyone that on Saturday and Sunday, March 22nd, March 23rd, Enmanji is going to have the Chamen luncheon. And so for all those BWA people or anybody else who would like to donate baked goods, please bring them on Sunday. And if anyone could help us out on Saturday and Sunday, please let either Kent, Larry know, or I know. Thank you.
Any more announcements? If not, that concludes today's service. Our appreciation to Reverend Fujimoto for your talk. Thank you to the March Toban for the flowers and offerings. Our appreciation to George Stau for setting up the Onaijin and starting to serve with the concho. And thank you, Dr. Kent, for playing the organ. Light refreshments will be served in the hall after the service. If we hadn't had a chance to offer incense, we may do so before leaving the hondo. Thanks again for coming today.